Hello everybody, my name is Alejandro from EXP. So I am a specialist in a community called Jebel Ali Village here in Dubai that are just handing over. If you don't know much about Dubai, this is a community on one of the biggest, well, not one of the biggest, it is the biggest highway of all of Dubai. The original, where everything came out of, and we have now a community which is handing over right on that highway, right? So it's not often we see communities hand over right next to this Sheikh Zayed Road. So my objective today is to look at some data points. We are going to discuss how good the value is in this area. We're going to be looking at competing communities, what you get for your money today. So we are also coming out of a stage where there is some tension in the region, the Iran and the US conflict, and how that is affecting the sentiment, the market, and of course, what is happening to the transactions. So I will perhaps be looking a little bit on my notebook as I've prepared some bullet points just to keep everything organized. And I am coming up to my 4th year in Dubai real estate. For you guys who don't know me, I am a very data-driven broker. So I will only look at transactions and base my assumptions or my recommendations based off of that. So we're going to be looking at a data provider called Property Monitor, which is the biggest data analytics platform in all of the UAE. So one function that I would dive into here first is what is called the heat map. So this is Jebel Ali Village, this circle, this yellow line here, that's Sheikh Zayed Road, and it just gives us an anchor. So we got Palm Jumeirah up here, you got Marina on this side, right? And for anyone who's interested, we have Palm Jebel Ali coming down here. So we're kind of smacked right in the middle. I'm gonna turn back into the heat map. So I just want to first set the tone that we're comparing this community first to other communities that are on the same path. So Sheikh Zayed. So we look at some of the very popular areas coming up here. So first you're gonna have the Meadows here at 3,350 square foot. You have the lakes on the other side, which is 2,800. Emirates Hills, very, very upscale here. You're getting the most amount of privacy you can in Dubai. There's huge mansions, 4,400 per square foot. You get Jumeirah Islands, which is also very, very popular, 5,000 per square foot. Jumeirah Park, slightly smaller, but also a good old one, 2,200. And then a little bit of the springs here, 2,300, right? So everything that we saw, it came down to Jumeirah Park. That's sort of the entry to be living this close to Sheikh Zayed Road. Keep in mind, these communities are very mature, so most of them, they're more than 10, 15 years old, right? There's actually a few other communities, for example, like Jumeirah Gulf Estate here, that is coming in at approximately 2,000. I know this is a little bit higher. The only reason it shows is there's a mix of apartments here, so I'm gonna take it one step further in a bit, so just to really dial in on the townhouses and the villas. But let's keep going. And then you have Tilal Al Gaf, which sits here at about 2,000. And then there is Sports City, which also has, actually it's gonna be Motor City, I believe. Now I'm mixing them. It's gonna be part of, yeah, Sports City, which has Victory Heights, which is also a townhouse community. Again, this is not an accurate reading here. It's gonna come in very close to 2,000 per square foot. But it shows the communities that I'm comparing here today. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna extract all of this data and put them on a table. So we have all of the projects. There are a few, for example, like Al Furjan, I didn't forget them. I'm gonna show them here in a second. Wasselgate Villas, they are here. And then we have some other communities, Jumeirah Village Triangle, I included those. And of course, Dubai Sports City Villas. What happens is, once you put that on a map, this is what you end up with, okay? So we start here. I'm gonna try and show it as much as I can. You will have the meadows down here. You will have the lakes up here. And then springs. That's what I was looking for, the word. You will have springs here, 2,300. Jumeirah Park, you will see on this side. And then, of course, you have Jumeirah Islands, which showed 5,000 on the other slide. And then you will have Emirates Hills here, huge sizes. So the reason we're looking at that is because the comparison that we're doing is what is on this highway right here, Sheikh Zayed Road. So we're comparing Jebel Ali Village here at 1,650 per square foot compared to these really mature communities. There's a bit of a discussion to be had why these have come to be worth as much, of course. But then next to that, I want to also show you guys these communities here, which I would call, just based on a price bracket, let's call them tier 2, right? So you will have JVT sitting here, which is the closest to Sheikh Zayed, 2,000 per square foot, Jumeirah Golf Estate 2,000, Tilal Al Gaf 2,000, Sports City or Victory Heights. There's a golf course there, so 2,100 per square foot. And then in the end, you're going to have Al Furjan on this side at 1,650, and finally Jebel Ali Village at 1,650. So what can we understand by this? Well, it kind of tells us the farther you go out from Sheikh Zayed Road, the more expensive the price becomes. This is one thing, simplified. So that's one of the things that when we look at anything that's this close to Sheikh Zayed Road and all this part of the old construction, the first part of Dubai, is that it's incredibly mature. There's a lot of greenery. All of the retail is already there. All of the F&B, all of the golf courses, all of the restaurants, all of those things are already there and mature, and people know them, and it's close to the highway, it's close to marina, etc. Whereas you're coming into the tier 2 brackets, there is a little bit of construction to still be had, not specifically in the areas, for example, JVT, as we all know, Jumeirah Golf Estates and Sports City, Victory Heights, they are all pretty much fully handed over. So what we can see mostly is Tilal Al Gaf, there is construction coming up here, there is Jury Hills coming up here, and then there's Emar Oasis that is coming up. And of course, there's going to be Jumeirah Golf Estates 2, which is a huge project that's building a lot of anticipation. So we have the index, we've seen how it looks on the map, and now we look at Jebel Ali Village and what has been happening during the last couple of months. So during high season, this was Q4 2020. We can go one quarter back as well, Q3 2025. We were transacting at the average price, as we can see on the map, slightly below 1,550, right? So we're at 1,650 today. But at the time, we were transacting at 1,550. Then we went into Q4, high season. There's a lot of anticipation. We are now transacting at 2,200, and into Q1, 2,300, 2,200, 2,300. So where else have we seen these numbers? We can see them right here, right? So everything that's on Sheikh Zayed Road, the entry price is 2,150 to 2,300. So we can see that this community, with all of the expectation, with a government developer coming in here, we can see the prices go up at least to match the entry price of these communities. And that's where we were. And then we had the conflict, right? So now we've seen prices dip quite heavily. We're down at 1,600 on average. So everyone is taking a haircut. We're selling at a discount. And going forward, I would want to stress, because there are transactions happening. So for you guys, there is townhouses and then there are villas. The townhouses, if we look here, Dubai overall sales analysis. So I've set all of this year, 2026 to date, townhouses in Jebel Ali Village. We've seen 29 transactions, all right? And if we go down here to the unit mix, we see for the 3 beds, the average price was let's say 1,600. And for the 4 bed, the average price was 1,730. You smack those together, you'll end up very close to 1,600 as the numbers support here. Now, there are also villas. There are a lot of villas, but the villas are a little bit different. And I would go as far to say that we are overpricing them a little bit, guys. Now, I am all for Jebel Ali Village. This is the community that I want to work in, where I want to work in. And the numbers speak for themselves. Over the last, 6.5 months, we've only seen 4 units transact here. And when we come down to the unit mix, we see that these are transacting way, way more. So we're looking at 2,250 to 2,400. Now, the units that did transfer, they were all backing into the main park. So it's pretty much as sweet as it can get. But I want everyone to understand that we are in a low season now. There is still a regional tension. So buyers are few. And buyers will not overpay. I wouldn't use the phrase overpay, but imagine you're coming today with 2,200, 2,300 to buy something that on the map, it's not quite like this. So don't judge this very oversimplified analysis, but the community is obviously way greener today and it's accessible. Owners are living there already. But you have this piece of land here. In the back, there's this huge power, there's the data centers here, there's a huge Diwa power plant, and then this Jebel Ali satellite station. So nothing is really happening to this huge piece of land in the back. This, I'm not really sure at this point. And then they have the community office. So Jebel Ali Nakil has all of the construction offices here in the back for the community. So there's not really much going on. You got the Ibn Battuta side on this side, of course. You have the gardens here, that's already matured. And then you have a little bit of Wasselgate and the churches in the back. And then you're going to have Wasselgate Park, who's coming up here. And then you have some empty plots with construction coming up here in the future. So it is on its way. It is, I would say, a 5 to 10 year timeline before all of this is completely green and completely mature, where we easily will be able to see that the overall average price is not 1650 anymore. It will be over 2000 for sure. Everything here will be over 2000. But bringing me back to the point of a lot of slides here, bringing me back to the point of the villas. It won't transact today at 2,200 to 2,400 because at that price, an owner, I've had a lot of owners already come in and they've just put random offers on the table, which at first seemed very random, but these owners are all people who have been living here for 10, 15 years. So they've seen all of these communities. They've seen Jumeirah Parks, Islands, JVT, Jumeirah Golf Estates. They've seen all of them, and someone will be able to come in and just by the looks of it, they will have a feeling. When you've been around long enough, and I'm starting to get a sense of that, but when you've been around long enough and you can feel out the space and the plot and the location, you will know approximately what that property would be worth. So you're coming in today, and let's say these units here, they sold for 2,250, so 10 million, right? Why would I go and buy something that doesn't have ready retail? It doesn't have gyms in its own clusters. There's a big main gym being developed, but it's not there yet. So no gyms. There is a few restaurants, let's be fair. There are a few restaurants in here in the hub. The staff and the personnel is very, very good there. I hang out there a lot, but it's outdated. The facade and everything needs a big renovation. And of course, the community pool and all of the retail, it's being built as we speak. So that's something that's ongoing, right? But you compare that, for example, for 2,300 to 2,400, you could buy Jumeirah Golf Estates, which has its own private golf course. It has all of the retail there. Tilal Al Ghaf, it's going to have 2 Michelin stars coming in this year. You're going to have the Crystal Lagoon. The retail is already there. Each of the cluster have their own gyms. Victory Heights, of course, also has a golf course. And then Jumeirah Village Triangle is something else. But you would come to me today. So let's say you want to get a 4-bedroom Harmony, which is about 4,650 square foot times. So let's assume we use the budget that you would have for Jebel Ali Village. So you have 10.5 million. So what can I get in? So we go here, Tilal Al Ghaf. You will come and you will get a 4-bedroom today starting, no, that's a townhouse, a Harmony. Lowest price first, 9 million. You can buy a 4-bedroom independent villa, open layouts, the clusters have gym, there's retail there already, Crystal Lagoon is about to be handed over, Michelin star restaurants about to be handed over, Clubhouse about to be handed over. Yes, it's not on Sheikh Zayed, but when you look at overall lifestyle, people want lifestyle. This is not an investment product anymore as it was during off-plan. Payment plans have already been used up. Everyone's going to come in mortgage now. It's families. So how much lifestyle are the families getting? What about Jumeirah Golf Estates? Jumeirah Golf Estates, 4-bedroom. So here's 11.2. So we're very close, right? So you can get Whispering Pines, 4 baths, 4 bedrooms, 3,700, slightly smaller than the type G and H we have in Tilal Al Ghaf. Those are 4,200. We're also obviously beating them on plot by a lot, but you're living in a fully matured community, which is something that would be important for an end user. Without going on too much, guys, the summary here would be, as a villa owner, I would highly suggest that you consider the speed of the market today, the region and its conflict that's still ongoing, and the appetite for the market. You will not have an easy time versus another 250 owners Of course, not everyone is going to be looking to sell, but you're going to have to be extremely careful on how you price out your unit. I think today, realistically, if you want to price it out for sale, you need to be around 2,000 dirhams per square foot. You're still at a discount versus the mature communities, a discount versus what's been transacted before, but that's, I think, where the reality lies. If we just take 2,000 dirhams versus, for example, 4,200 and square foot, that's 8.4. And those are all of the offers that I'm getting today. The offers that I'm receiving are between 8.2 up to 9 million. That's where most of the experienced end users who own properties in Dubai, who's been here for a long time, they are giving me offers between 8 and 9 million. And that puts us right around, let's say, 1,900 to 2,100 per square foot. But we can't ask 23, 2,400 when there is a lot of maturity to happen in this area versus Tilal Al Gaf, versus Jumeirah Golf Estate. Yes, I know it's not on Sheikh Zayed Road. All of them are not on Sheikh Zayed Road, but they are completely mature. And the wave of the buyers that are coming in now are end users. They are not investors who are looking for capital gains. They want to pay a fair value for what they're getting for their family. So I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. I am trying to stay as objective as I can. If you have any comments on any of the methods that I've been using, feel free to put them down below. If you are an owner here who are looking to sell and you want some help, maybe considering different locations in the area, of course, we have to look at that. And there are buyers in the market. I am processing buyers every week. It's just we're asking a little bit too much and it's not the right time. If you're a buyer, feel free to reach out to me. We have a lot of stock now that we are processing, trying to get down to a fair value. I do have a few units that are very, very close and that are ready to move. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.